Alright, in this episode of the Man Cave, going to be talking about a new helmet I'm trying. This is the Caberg droid. Alright, now Caberg is an Italian brand. I don't have a lot of experience with it. This is the first helmet of theirs that I'm trying, and this is the droid model. Now, as the name implies, styling is going to be the first thing that's going to jump out at you. It's got very aggressive, futuristic sort of styling. Take a look at this chin vents that you have here. These two large sort of fan-like turbines that you have over here are probably the highlight of the design. The top vent sort of channels air towards the top of the chin bar, where you have air preventing a lot of the fogging and misting problems that you have towards the visor. And the lower vent sort of channels air towards various passages and channels throughout the helmet, which according to Caberg gives you a more even sort of cooling effect on your head. Now, aside from the front vents over here, you've also got a top vent. Now, I find this a little bit stiff and a little bit hard to use. I wish it was a little softer. It could be because the helmet is new, but it is a little bit stiff and hard to use. Now, this is a modular helmet, meaning it is a flip up, and you can flip up the chin bar via this red lock that you have here. It's a nice mechanism, very solid. In fact, the whole helmet is quite solidly built. Not a lot of rattling, not a lot of loose parts on there. Quite solid build quality. Now, the strength of a modular helmet obviously is the fact that you have two options. In effect, a full face helmet, or you can have it with the open face setup. Now, the difference here is the Caberg droid is a double homologation helmet, meaning it is rated for use with the chin bar down as a full face, and it's also rated safe to use with the chin bar up, effectively making it an open face helmet. Now, that rating comes from the fact that you've got a P and a J. Helmets that are rated as P and J or double homologated means that you can use the helmet with the chin bar in the up position. Now, why would you want to do that? Maybe you're riding through slower traffic, filtering through traffic, you want a little bit of airflow. Maybe you stop at the stoplights and want a little bit of airflow on there. And you can flip up that chin bar and actually ride around with the helmet in that position. Obviously, you can do that with any modular helmet, but unless it has the P and a J or double homologation certification, then it's not technically safe to use with the chin bar up while the bike is moving, and that's because there's a lock when it's in the J position. Now, I wouldn't necessarily do that at high speeds. Obviously, with the chin bar up, the helmet does become a little bit cumbersome. It does catch air at higher speeds. So this is something that I would do if I'm puttering around town, filtering through traffic, maybe sitting at the stoplights. I'd flip that helmet up and get a little bit more airflow. And that is the real strength of a modular helmet, particularly one that is rated as that has a P and a J setting or a double homologation. Now, jumping back to some of the features of the helmet, it's a double visor system, meaning it's got this clear visor here in front, which is also a little bit stiff to use. It could be because the helmet is, again, like I said, new, but there's some nice positive detents or ratchet action to the visor when you open and close it. So you've got that clear visor, and you also have a second tinted visor that drops down. My only nitpick is that in the closed position, you have the top of the tinted lens sort of peeking out from the top of the helmet. Would have been nicer, a little bit cleaner if that tinted shield sort of retracted all the way back into the shell. But that said, it does work quite well, and it does do a pretty good job. Now, as we move towards the back of the helmet, you'll notice that there are no passive exhaust ports in the back of the helmet. It's designed to bring air in through the chin bar vent and also the forehead vent, and sort of make that air sort of move around evenly over your entire head. At least that's according to Caberg. They didn't see fit to put any passive exhaust ports or rear exhaust ports on the outside of the helmet. Now, overall, I think styling is the strong point of the helmet. Like I said, some nice crisp sort of creases, angles, and lines. Like the name implies, droid, it's sort of very robotic, very futuristic, makes you look like something out of Star Wars. It's an acquired taste. It's certainly something for riders who want to be noticed. And I think Caberg has done a pretty good job in designing a helmet that really does sort of attract some attention, although it does have a little bit of subtlety to it, particularly in this matte black color. Now, matte black looks great, but it is absolute murder to try and keep clean. You know, oily fingerprints tend to show up all over a matte black finish. I don't care if it's Caberg or any other brand. Matte black is hard to keep clean, so that's the price you pay for a cool looking finish. The Droid itself is available in 10 different color variants, from solid to slight color and graphic versions as well. One thing to point out though is Caberg only makes one shell size for the Droid, meaning the outer shell is shared across its 5 different sizes from extra small to extra large. In terms of a shape, it is a little bit rounder than some of the other helmets or shells that we've tried, but fit is good for me. I'm a pretty neutral sort of oval shape. It does fit quite well, no sort of tight spots, hot spots, or areas that become a little bit too snug. I will say that the cheek pads are on the snug side, but I think that's exactly how you want the helmet to be. Now, when the chin bar is closed, notice that that opening at the bottom is quite small. I find it almost impossible actually to wear the helmet or put the helmet on with the chin bar down. It's a lot easier to put that helmet on with the chin bar up and close it once you've got the helmet on. In terms of buckling that helmet down, you've got a quick release sort of ratchet system under here. I generally prefer double D-rings. They're a little bit slimmer, but as far as ratchet type quick release setups go, this strap is actually not too bad. It's not overly bulky and doesn't feel too constricting when you do put that on. On the inside, we've got a nice sort of hypoallergenic fabric, a fully removable liner. You can remove it and wash it and replace it quite easily. Now, there are ear pockets here. They have been designed primarily for the Caberg Just Speak system. That is the proprietary intercom system. I don't see any problems with fitting any other aftermarket intercom system on here. The fact that you've got these ear pockets on there will make it quite easy. I have yet to try it though, but I have no doubt that it'll be any kind of problem. Now let's talk about ratings. Now this bears the ECE 22.05 rating. That is a European standard for safety. It is a standard used across 50 members of the European Union, including Germany, who are notorious for personal safety standards. Honestly, if it's good enough for them, it is good enough for me. It does not bear a DOT or DOT standard as is used in the US and in Canada maybe, but certainly the European standard is enough for me, as they are supplied here or bought here. In the Philippines, it will bear the ICC sticker, which means that it does meet minimum standards. And remember, this is a double homologated helmet, which means that it is rated for use with the chin bar down or the chin bar up. Now, in terms of weight, we're talking about a 1,600 gram helmet in size medium. Now, that's not too heavy, that's not too light, round about the middle, a little bit on the heavy side, especially if you compare it with a standard full face helmet. Now, obviously, a modular or flip-up helmet will bear some extra weight because of the extra mechanisms that you have here. Particularly a PJ rating like this has some extra mechanisms for the lock. This, of course, also has the drop-down shield on the inside, which again adds a little bit more weight. Now, 1,600 grams, like I said, it's a little bit on the heavy side, but par for course for a modular helmet, so not bad at all. In terms of noise and wind, modular helmets certainly aren't known to be the most quiet helmets out there. You've got a lot of gaps, across the mechanism where wind can creep in. That said, though, after a little bit of use, the Droid has proven itself to be actually quite quiet. You do get a little bit of wind noise sort of swirling around those ear pockets. But honestly, for a modular helmet, I think it's really not bad. It's relatively quiet and it's done a pretty good job. Also worth pointing out that it does come with a pin-lock visor insert to minimize fogging via these little connection points that you have here. I haven't seen any need really to put that pin-lock visor on. Same with all the other helmets I've used, but it's nice to know that it is there and it does come supplied in the box when you purchase the Caberg Droid. Now, I think overall Caberg has done a good job of giving us a very versatile helmet, very solidly built at a pretty good price, $14,500. It is available at SEC or SEC Motor Supply, depending on how you want to pronounce that. That's all I've got for you in this episode of The Man Cave. I hope you found this helpful. See you in the next one.